Hello, biology students. Today's date is April 8th, 2020. This is the video for day 8, and today I'm going to talk to you about ecology. The previous week's worth of information dealt with nutrient cycles, cellular respiration, and photosynthesis. Well, those are things that happen in organisms, and organisms are part of a larger whole. So what we're going to cover for the next 2 weeks is how organisms interact with their environments, which is something that we call ecology. Ecology is the study of how organisms interact, or study any of the interactions that occur between organisms and their physical environments. You go outside and you see trees in an area with other organisms, and they exist in this environment. And there's a whole bunch of interactions that occur between those trees and the plants around them, and the animals that depend upon those plants, even the bacteria and the fungi that live in the soil. So there are 5 levels of ecology, and I'm only going to cover 2 today. But those levels of ecology start off with something individual, simple, like an organism, and then you continue through these 5 levels of ecology. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee while I cycle through this. So when you're looking at the very first level, you're looking at the individual organism. So the first level is the organism. For example, you have Dory here, who is one blue tang, and she has all of the characteristics that identify her as a very specific organism, one blue tang. So that's the basic level. But then you go to the second level, and that's called the population. When we talked about evolution, I mentioned populations. It's the same type of organism living in the same area, competing for the same resources. But when you look at a population, they're not all going to be identical, but they will share basically the same characteristics with some minor variations in their traits. So you can look at a school of blue tangs, and that would be one population. All those blue tangs will compete for the same resources. They'll compete for food, they'll compete for space, they will compete for mates. So I think that was 3, yeah. But the thing about a population is that it doesn't include all of the blue tangs everywhere in the world. You might have a population of blue tangs in one uh, coral reef, but if you can go to a completely separate coral reef, you might find a population of blue tangs. But those blue tangs are 2 different populations, because if you look at maybe some of their versions of characteristics, there might be some minor variations, but you also need to look at the other populations that exist with those blue tangs. So a blue tang is one organism. A population is the same type of organism living in the same area, also competing for the same resources. All right, so that's it for today's lesson. You will have an assignment on a Google Doc, and you will turn that assignment in at the end of the week. I'll talk to you guys later. Hope you're doing well.